Welcome back to the DBS studios. I'm with Barbara Jacobs-Small and Latoya Mitchell, and we're talking about women in business. We're talking about the things that we have to go through. We've just started doing that anyway. But did you know that J.K. Rowling, Oprah Winfrey, Sheila Johnson and Martha Stewart, they may seem different on the surface, but all of these leading ladies have persevered through the competitive male-dominated business world. Now, leveraging their individual talents, these women have made considerable strides for up-and-coming females who are ready to emerge as business leaders and tycoons. And in the spirit of girl power, I'd like to share with you a few statements I found online. They refer to women in the US, but apart from the actual figures, I'd say it's quite comparable in St. Lucia. For example, Barbara, I'm going to ask you, would you agree the workforces of women-owned firms show more gender equality? Would you say that women business owners overall employ more, say, females or males? Does it really matter?
I don't know. I've never thought of that. I've never really thought of that. When I look at right angle imaging, I think we're very guilty because we're not gender balanced at all. We mostly women and one man.
Why is the reason for that?
We didn't set out to hire primarily females. I really cannot explain it. You know, we would advertise a position.
Latoya, how many females in proportion do you have?
I think before I had only guys. Now I have both guys and girls, but it wasn't like intentional, but you're looking for the best of the best. So I guess whoever comes up and they actually get that position, it has to be to the advantage of the company. Yes. So I don't think I look at it as a guy, I'm hiring a guy, or I'm hiring a girl. Okay, well, in the States, what they've said is that women business owners overall, they employ a roughly balanced workforce of 52% women and 48% men, while men business owners employ 38% women and 62% men on average. Now, when I think of that, I mean, as women owners, do you find that there are some certain sensitive issues? Like, so for example, if a woman is menstruating and she's got, you know, period pains and she hasn't come to work, and then she has come to work and she's not concentrating, are you likely to put on your businesswoman hat or the woman hat?
I put on my woman hat because I believe first and foremost people are people. People are not robots. I think they're people. I will be the first person to say to a staff member of mine, go, are you looking so? Why don't I?
What if they're trying to take advantage of you and they're just putting it on?
Because I always tell them that I'm a very nice person, but you must not really mistake that for foolishness or idiocy or anything like that. But I think that you will be your best self when you don't have to be worrying about that, because you know I know what it feels like. So I would tell them go.
I totally agree with Barbara.
Yeah? Okay, so I have a question for you. What's your thoughts on this US survey that stated that female-owned family businesses are 1.7 times more productive than male-owned family firms? I think
women need to tend to be much more serious at stuff than men. I wouldn't.
Go, respond, Barbara. I don't think she.
I think there's in some family companies you'd always see the woman press through, and I mean the men. I'm not saying that they're not serious, but the woman seems to go all out because she has some kind of ownership to it. So I figure she works hard enough to get the job done. I know the men. I know the men will say something about that, but I have confidence in them. But
Barbara, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. You know, I don't know that people can really make these kind of generalizations. You know, when I look at, for instance, my peers, because if you have to look at traditional business in St. Lucia, a lot of them were male. They were very patriarchal. And they developed as the business that so-and-so man developed and whatever. But in contemporary times, when I look at, for instance, the people that were in the media with us, Delia, you know, in our day. And most of them have sort of broken off into their own businesses. I see how driven they are. And they're always at work. And some of them I say to, you need to take a break. So I don't know that you can make these kinds of generalizations. I think, I do believe that perhaps women can be more empathetic in the workplace. So for instance, you know, like one of my staff might have a problem, a physical problem, can't come to work. And I would tell them stay home. I would perhaps call them and tease them that they're making me suffer because they're not there. But I will not encourage them to come to work if they're not, or I will not have an attitude with them not being able to come to work. So
I agree.
You know,
All right. Well, let me give you one more statement. Perhaps you might agree with this one. Women-owned firms are more likely than other firms to offer flexi time, tuition reimbursement, and at a smaller size, profit sharing to their workers. They're saying that women are more likely to offer those incentives to their employees. Would you agree with that?
Well, I can't speak about that scientifically, but I can speak about that in terms of who I am as a person, and that I'm oriented that way, you know, and perhaps it has to do with my gender. Perhaps it has to do, you know, being sensitive. Yes,
well, you know, I'm not. I shouldn't say I'm surprised to hear that, because I mean, I know you know your character. But can you remember years ago where people used to say, "I don't want to work for no woman," you know? Women felt that they didn't want to work for a woman, and a man felt that he didn't want to work for a woman too, for different things. Did you? You're looking at me puzzled. You never heard that? That women didn't like to work for women?
No, it's not that I've never heard it, but I don't see why. I don't see why. It's a business. You, at the end of the day, you're getting paid to do a job, so I don't see why we should choose, or we should say that I don't want to work with. Or
a lot of people say that women, you know, women are not wonderful bosses. Women shouldn't work with women. But I mean, I can't say that, because most of the people who I ever worked with, Linda Dyer, a woman, May Wayne, a woman, strong women.
I think it comes down to you as a person.
And being confident.
Yeah, I really believe it comes down to you as a person and how you see yourself in the workforce. I don't think it has anything to do with. I don't think it should have anything to do with who you're working for. I just think it has to be with you. It's about you.
I think so. I think so. There are a lot of people who are very good bosses, but they don't know who they are, or they're not in touch with themselves.
Yeah.
And so they perhaps come across as being very temperamental in the workplace. And so they sometimes can have their staff on a sort of off balance. You know, you don't know, you know, what mood the person is in today, kind of thing. Perhaps this whole notion that women are moody, you know.
You know what I think is the worst type of woman boss?
What type?
The menopausal ones.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I don't think I can comment on that. I don't think I've experienced.
So when a woman is in menopause, but even as a personal, when you're into menopause, I mean, you can be a dragon. One minute you're okay, and the next minute it's like, so to be a boss in menopause, that must be very difficult, you know.
I just really think it boils down to your character, your personality.
Yeah.
You know, I have had occasion, for instance, when I would say to my staff, okay, I know that I have been a bit funny. Sorry, it's not a good day.
I think I think you need to be the bigger person in that sort of situation.
But perhaps it works for me because my core group, my core staff is not big. You know, I've scaled down from, you know, over 13 staff to 7 staff, and I've kept my core company that size, and I just outsource. Or I bring in partners based on the jobs that we do. So we very much like a family. Have you
ever been, either one of you, been compared to a man, or a man doing the role that you're doing?
No.
No? No? Have you ever felt that other people felt that perhaps this role should go to a man? Because I mean, Barbara, you have won. I know last year you won the year before you won the Signature Business Awards for is it marketing?
No,
not for marketing,
innovation.
For innovation, right? And I know that everyone. It was well deserved, and I can see everyone was really. And you actually hosted one of the shows, which I have to say you did a fantastic job. Really, really, really good job.
Praise God.
But has there been anything in your life, Barbara, that kind of changed that was life-changing to you, to make you want to succeed in the things that you're doing?
No, I was always like that. Well, Latoya she says she's driven. I am not driven at all. I can be very laid back, but I'm very invested. I'm that type of personality. So, for instance, you know, and it's not symptomatic of running my own business. I was like that when I was in broadcasting at Radio St. Lucia. You know, I would be at work every night until 10 because I'm invested. I just really own the things that I do, you know, so for that reason, you know, it may seem that I am just really at it, but it's not that I'm driven. I don't think.
And
I'm
how do you
person.
balance working and being a wife?
I know you. I wouldn't get that
I'm not going to drop it.
I'm not really balanced very well at all.
And I know
my husband is home watching me, and he's he's perhaps saying to himself, "We pawn question."
He asked me in the break to ask the question. No.
Yes, no. So, you might want to Dama TV, but it took me a long time to, realize that. And you have the realization, but sometimes because of the pressures of the work, the deadlines. In my line of work, my work is deadline driven all the time. Everything you have to make deadlines every day, and it's a lot of writing and a lot of analysis and a lot of research and a lot of conceptualizing and a lot of creative, and so I'm at it all the time, but I tend to be a workaholic.
But do you think it will ever get balanced? Because I don't foresee it balanced as yet.
I think you have to make it balanced.
I don't foresee it right now. I mean, ugh.
The thing is, when you're getting a business off the ground, I think you have to kind of have that little briefing with your family so that they know what you're doing. And I also think your family need to know what your business is and what it is about, and they need to see the relationship of your business to them, the home, the way of life, the things we need, the material, that kind of way, and to be able to give you that support. And I have support where my business is concerned. Perhaps if it were not for one or two little things, I don't really think my husband would have a major problem. I mean, nowadays I think his concerns are mostly to do with safety. Why are you out so late? Why do you have to be the last to leave? Why, that kind of way. But I think it's coming from more support for me. But yeah, the balance thing, I think it's important to maintain it, and very often we let it fly.
I find with me, I'm trying, because I have a very young family.
Yes, because no amount
and I
of
have
money
a
can
young
pay
business
for the stability of your children.
And I have a young business, so I sort of have to try to make sure that I get everything that I normally used to do, to try to keep that going. Take him to karate, take him to football, pick up the baby, play when I get home. Even though you're tired, you have to be on the go until everybody's eyes is closed, and then you could say, okay.
You know what? You mentioned the children, but hubby is equally as important
let me
to spend time with him too.
Let me tell you, I must say, just like Barbara, I have neglected him in some sort of way, because after doing all this, you're tired, so you're like, he wants to talk. I'm so tired. Tomorrow morning we'll talk. But I mean, I think I need to right now make an effort to actually stay awake, to actually have some quality time.
No, you definitely.
I think that's needed.
You definitely have to, because
I think that's
unfortunately, I think with lots of women, not just business women, we make short-term plans and not looking at what's going on, what's the longer term plans. And when we do make those plans, sometimes we don't put family at the forefront unless an emergency happens.
Well,
you don't want that.
To me,
so if that is the case, then just remember that the two have to work hand in hand. Sometimes one is going to be leading more than the other, and hopefully you'll get the support from your family to help you get along.
I find with the balance now we work very well, but I still believe that since my time is so limited, I have to push extra hard to make sure that I cover all my bases, my husband, my family, the house, the business. So I think right now, since my company is so young, I have to be able to spread the love everywhere to make sure that it's balanced.
Well, unfortunately, I have to say goodbye to you at this juncture. But before I do, any last words? I do want to say as well, congratulations on your nomination this year.
Thank you.
It was the Young Entrepreneur.
And Prime Minister's Award for Innovation.
Right, and when things like that are landed on you, unfortunately, it means that everyone's watching you for next year, God willing. Yeah. So I'm keeping everything I have crossed for you to achieve more.
Thank you very much,
have planned for the year. Any last words for our viewers before you leave us?
I think what I need to say is right now in St. Lucia, we have a lot of talented young people, and I think now is the time to step up and come forward. Let's be counted, and let's get the job done, because for the economy we need it.
Right, well, thank you so much, Latoya, for being here with us. Now, tonight's giveaway: how many Carib Cable offices are there, and where are they located, and what is the name of the current Carib Cable promotion? The winner will receive 1 month's cable-free service from Carib Cable and a Carib Cable bag filled with goodies. If you're already a customer, don't worry, your account will be credited for 1 month. Okay, now before I go back to break, I just wanted to say, Latoya, we actually got a really lovely email saying that, you know, congratulations to you, and they actually sympathize with what you have been going through because they're going through the same thing, and they wanted to just say keep on going. So I wanted to say that to you whilst you're with us, and I'll actually send you that email. Okay, so when we come back, Teige Borde from Azuk Creative Services will be with us, so make sure you remain here on DBS. We'll see you quite soon.